Hi everybody, today is going to be my review of Deadpool issue 1 by Kelly Thomson. So here I have a variant cover. I got these comics from my aunt who lives in Oakland, and I guess there's a comic book store called Cape and Cow. I believe last year they had a variant cover for Black Panther issue 1 where it's the intergalactic uh um I guess the intergalactic state of Wakanda where they're in space and like he really kind of lost his memory. He has to return to Earth or something. And it's certainly interesting. Oh, it's by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and it's certainly an interesting story, but very strange because it's in space. But today's review is about Deadpool issue 1, and here it's basically Deadpool photobombing the same cover as Black Panther issue 1, and here you can see Welcome to. So the art, so they had the credits page at the very end, and I mean, I didn't know who it was, and the pencils are Chris Bachalo, and his name sounds familiar, but I don't know that many artists. And throughout the story, I thought it wasn't as funny. I could see where to some people it could be funny, but it wasn't very funny to me. And in general, I thought it was kind of bland. It wasn't boring. It was sometimes amusing, but it was just kind of bland, like like meh, honestly, which is kind of bad for me. So the paper quality is pretty good, I think. It doesn't rub off or anything, but it's a relatively. It seems kind of hefty, or maybe 30, 40 pages or something like that, and the cost was it was $4.99, maybe because it was a variant cover. So it opens up and Deadpool is fighting a monster, and at first I thought maybe this was from maybe it was like a reprint or something, and because there's also that one Deadpool comic where and it's now in a kind of graphic novel trade paperback, and he's also fighting a green monster, and like I think Thor is also fighting it, and then like Deadpool is swallowed, and then he has to cut out from the stomach. So I thought maybe it was like this, but it turns out it's a little different. So here, Deadpool is fighting a monster, and then there's also like this kind of advisor to the monster who can also speak English. And like here's a little joke, like, Sir is my dad, kid. I'm Sir Deadpool. Sir Deadpool. Oh, I guess it's supposed to be this guy talks first and then Deadpool. But so here we see Deadpool is ripped in half. But it turns out that Deadpool is fighting the King of Monsters, and then once Deadpool eventually defeats this King of Monsters, Deadpool becomes the King of Monsters. So that's where this first arc is going. We'll find out how Deadpool either remains as the King of Monsters, or maybe he'll eventually quit being the King of Monsters. But so there's that story, and then a couple pages later we have this character, Elsa Bloodstone, and she is a monster hunter. She has like a rifle or a shotgun. She kind of just team up to defeat the monster. So one thing about the art is that sometimes it kind of looks like this, but other times, sometimes I like the backgrounds. So I feel like sometimes the art kind of lowers a little bit in quality, but overall, I guess it's not that noticeable. So one thing is that I think the panels are very busy. It has lots of this guy with tentacles, so it's very there's a lot of stuff going on in this. So that's very good. I think this art is very good. It makes good use of the gutter here. Although I guess in retrospect it does look kind of strange, but that's just the style. And then so like here there's lots of stuff going on, and the art's pretty good. It's very good. But sometimes I get this is supposed to be kind of funny, but I thought it was kind of blandish humor. You just slice, dice. Julienne fries. I got you, girl. Yeah, but who's got you? One thing at a time. Your arm. Wait, you lost your whole soldering arm. All part of the plan. I mean, I told him I was going to kill him with 40 grenades. Why does nobody take me seriously, Elsa? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of meh. And of course he's able to kill the guy, the monster with grenades, and that's good. But one of the things I didn't like about this comic was, especially this page. I mean, there's a lot of captions, there's a lot of speech, sure. It's like, so apparently, according to ancient monster law, if you kill the king, you become the king. They said there would be dancing girls, and piles of money, and jewels, and lobster rolls, and good beer, and fun bondage games, and essential oils, and one of those giant human chess sets. Well, okay, nobody actually said those things. But that's definitely what I imagine it would be when someone finally wised up, and made me king of something. Instead, I have a chair that makes me feel like Goldilocks. Bellis, this chair is insane. We'll order you a new one, sire. One more befitting your charming human proportions. Great. Who's the snowman guy? This is the snowman delegate. He's brought you the customary gift for all new kings. I think they could have done something more exciting. They could have split this stuff better. Like, Bellis, this chair is insane. Could have been a single panel really showing him with the backdrop of, the back of the chair maybe. And like, who is this snowman guy? And then they could have had, kind of like this, a goofy picture of a snowman, instead of just saying, oh, there's a snow. Because, I mean, on the previous page, they were also fighting in the snow. So, it is a little difficult to tell that the scenery changed. Although the snowman guy is here. So, maybe they're in the same, setting. And then, it's just very strange that okay, so yeah, I think there's a subplot that the monster's headquarters is on this Staten Island. So that would explain why the monster's kind of all lined up here. But there's a lot of dialogue. And I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it's kind of a lot. So I like this part at the end. There was a cameo by Deadpool, and she's mentioning how her series is getting canceled because she's not very popular. So she has to give her land shark pet, Jeff. I thought this is a cool idea, very cute, I guess. And she has to give Jeff to Deadpool because Deadpool is much more popular, and then Jeff will have a better chance at staying alive than in Gwenpool's book. So then she kind of leaves. So it's a little sad, but if she got a good writer, then obviously she would be much more popular. So then at the end, there's a little twisteroo. Craven joins the game, and I believe he's going to have to hunt down Deadpool, or maybe just the other monsters. But so I think he was hired by Elsa Blood Hunter to take down Deadpool because she's a monster hunter, and I believe she doesn't want Deadpool to be the king of monsters, because he's not killable. So overall, I thought the jokes were kind of unfunny. I didn't like all the jokes, and while the initial plot is interesting, it's not necessarily good or entertaining. Although maybe future issues would be more interesting. Maybe Deadpool gets eaten by monsters and then he has to, cut out of them more. That's kind of a cliche, but you don't always see it. So, but whenever you see it, it's always the same. But maybe if you see it more often, maybe it will be more creative, or maybe there will be more giant monster fights in Deadpool, So hopefully, that'll happen. I don't always get Deadpool because I didn't grow up with him, so he's not a character I read on a daily basis or anything like that. But tell me what you guys think about this issue. If you read it, if you bought it. Maybe you can check it out from the library when it comes out in the trade paperback. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.